Hi, Doug.
Hey, Lisa.
It's done.
This is fantastic. I earlier today, I walked in and there's like workmen out in that thing there, and they're sawing things, and there's plants coming in, and we're moving monitors around, and voila.
I know. I still have paint on my hands from the mugs. You like
But
that?
you got most of it off though. Yeah, we won't look under your nails.
Just look keep them behind the computer.
Yeah, look at this. The fantastic mugs.
You know what? You do what you got to do to get a
carefully
talk show.
handcrafted, beautifully handcrafted logo.
So, welcome to the Doug and Lisa show. This is our very, very first show.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a blur because I remember Lisa walking in, and then I don't really remember how this all happened. How did this?
Don't remember?
Lisa, I told you. I mean, I think it is a fantastic idea. The Okanagan really needs its own talk show,
right?
To feature all the fantastic and incredible people telling their stories. But I just don't know that I can be on camera with you.
What could you possibly have going on?
I'm a little bit busy. I do host another show. Oh, Lisa.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Okay, you're right. This is kind of fun.
I know.
Yeah, you're right. I think I might enjoy this.
See? Ow!
And just like that, it happened.
It happened. So the show. Let's talk about the show.
It's just a great chance to interview fantastic local people, and we've got a couple of pairs of great guests on today's show.
Bob Purdy, Carrie Missler, first guests.
Right, yeah. We got this guy who's been paddling for way too long.
Stop paddling.
No, he's got to save the planet. Also,
Tim,
the
Sandy
parents.
Varga. It's a more serious topic because it affects a lot of people, prescription drug abuse and alcoholism. They've been struggling with that with their son, so we're going to talk to them at the end of the show. But first...
Well, it's a new year, a new show, and time for some resolutions.
Yeah.
What about a New Year's resolution?
I don't have a New Year's resolution. Well, the same one every year, eat better, go to the gym. Already blown that.
New Year's resolutions?
Quit smoking for the 45th time.
I want to follow through with my goals, stick to them. Sometimes I just give up on them, but I want to try and follow through this time.
I'm getting a gym membership, and then we're gonna eat really healthy, and that's what we're gonna do. Work out lots.
With goals, it has to be something that's measurable. So how many times are you going to work out?
We're gonna go every day for 28 days.
That's not very practical. Is it?
Why is that? That's not practical.
To go every single day? What if something what if you get sick? Or what if you overdo it and hurt yourself?
Well, we're not accounting for that right now.
Why don't we just start at maybe 3 to 5 times a week, and then if that works, then...
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay?
Okay.
Now I'm giving people their goals.
Thank you.
I'm just here to help change your life.
My New Year's resolution is to continue not making New Year's resolutions, so...
They're a toughie because you end up... There's so much pressure on doing it, and the chances are you're never actually going to stick to it.
Just to be the best friend I can be to my friends and family, and that's about it. Just work hard and keep at it.
You make Okanagan people look good.
Right on.
So did you think of one yet?
Well, can I tell you what it is, or do you want to watch the Out There segment first, and then I'll tell you what my resolution is
Just give
going
us
to
a
be?
little hint what it's going to be.
Well, if they watch the clip, the segment, because part of what we're doing on the show is these out there. If you've been a fan of Lisa, you see that she does insanely crazy things.
And you don't? That's why we're doing this together, is because you're
Yeah, okay.
my brother from another mother.
I've done a few kind of kooky things myself, but the best thing now, we can team up and do craziness together.
Exactly, and highlight really cool organizations and companies, businesses in the Okanagan.
So we should go out there
to
West Kelowna, to the Mount Boucherie Skating Club.
To go figure skating. With music! We gotta do the music!
Oh yes, we get tango. Whoa! And that's just a taste of what's in store today. We're here where the Mount Boucherie Skating Club practices. We've signed up for some basic figure skating instruction. Basic. But you've had figure skating experience before.
Doug, we talked about this.
No, but come on, you should be proud of your accomplishments.
Yeah, when I was little, my mom put me in figure skating lessons, and I had to be a donkey. My friend was like a cute little cowgirl, and I had to come up with this humongous donkey head. So
Wow.
I never figure skated again.
That was it.
If I see a donkey today, I'm out of here. Flashbacks.
Let's go find our coach and meet
Okay.
some of the kids and
Toe pick.
see what you don't have toe picks. We got hockey skates on.
Yeah, we forgot our figure skates.
We're off to a great start.
Well, you know what? If we're bad, we can blame it on the skates.
Right.
Oh my gosh, look at that girl. Show offs.
I think they've done it before.
I've been international. Like I went to Scotland and England. Yeah,
That's so cool.
and Italy as well. Yeah,
You just don't bring all your medals here to skate with because it would weigh you down, right?
yeah, exactly.
Whoa! How did you do that? How long will it take me to learn that?
12 years.
Why are you so amazing at figure skating? That's my question.
What's the best thing about it?
The jumps and just the feeling of like flying through the air and spinning so fast. It just
can see
feels
that.
really amazing.
We have Anne McGraw here, and she is our coach for the day.
Awesome.
Okay, we have hockey skates.
You know what?
Couldn't find
Skating
any.
is skating. It's all good. We're not going to do anything today that requires you having any picks, any jumps
pick?
necessarily, or
Not any
You
jumps
can-
necessarily.
Yeah.
you can
Necessarily.
you can
Yeah.
spin on those. You can even do some jumps. It's going to be all good. All right. Okay.
Okay.
So warm up. We're going to do inside edges, half circle using the line.
I'm getting on you, Doug. I'm gonna get you.
And you stop. Nice.
Even stop.
Very good. Let's do the
We're
other
very
one.
advanced.
You are. I can see.
Bending the knees.
Do you want me to hold you? They're all passing you, Doug.
Outside edge to your backward outside edge. Yeah. Yes. Right, left, right, left, and then your crossovers here. Coming out of the circle, you can let go of each other and do your spiral.
Oh, you did the wrong foot. Stop. You did it again. You don't know. You don't know. I'm still going. I'm still going.
You may have gone farther, but I still win.
That wasn't part of it. Okay.
We can add, you want to add something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can we?
so at the end of the spiral, you can bend and do a little bit of pumping into a smaller circle. Nicely done.
Now that's grace. That's what that is.
Yes. Yeah.
I am really dizzy.
Don't close your eyes.
That was dangerous.
That was a little bit dangerous.
That was pretty
Well
fancy.
done.
Now we're back.
We're so fancy.
Some hips going on there.
Time to change into our costumes.
Your fantastic outfit. I didn't bring one because the donkey costume's a bit too small for me. Oh yeah, make sure your necklace is showing. Necklace man. I feel like this is a good bonding exercise for our show.
Performing for you this evening, Doug and Lisa.
Doug, you're making me look bad. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm
8, 10.
You guys are liars. Who paid you to do this? You know what? You guys are giving us some pointers, get it? On how
Pointers.
to skate.
They're so polite here
I
in
know.
West Kelowna.
You know what? You guys have
All right,
changed my mind
thank
about
you so
figure
much.
skating.
Let's go get your donkey costume. Yeah, okay, so my New Year's resolution is to be able to turn left.
I hope so.
on
And that
skates.
little flip thing you did, that was
But if I can
horrible.
get the left turn, then I can get the hop, skip, and jump I bet.
I'm just happy I got over my past, my donkey.
Yeah, the donkey. Well, that was beautiful. All right, so that's just one. That's just our first adventure, and we're looking for more ideas.
Yeah. So if you have an out there suggestion or idea, you can either go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/dougandlisashow, or you can email us at dougandlisashow@gmail.com.
Great. Okay, so stick around. When we come back, we will meet our first set of guests, the folks behind the Paddler movie.
Paddler.
Paddler.
Yep.
You just never know where we're going to pop up.
Hashtag Doug and Lisa.
Your hands are filthy.
I know.
It really stinks in here. Was that a good take? Can we get out of here now?
Get back down.
What if all that's left for my great-great-grandchildren is an ocean full of plastic? What if the air is so toxic that my great-great-grandchildren cannot take a breath of fresh air?
Now we're joined by Carrie Missler and Bob Purdy, a couple of water-going gentlemen. How long have you been paddling now?
Oh, well, I started paddling January 1st, 2011. So as of today, 1,438 days. Not that I'm counting.
Every single day?
Every single day. I've not missed a day.
What was the worst day so far, like for weather-wise?
Cold-wise, minus 28. My feet actually stuck to the board that day. I nearly bonked my nose getting off the board. My feet stuck to the board. Heat-wise, probably in the mid-40s. So, and I've had everything in between.
And not just on Okanagan Lake?
No, I've traveled a little bit. I'm also the founder of World Paddle for the Planet Day. So we had our second one of those in Florida. I was there for a month. We paddled on Lake Powell. I did a 24-hour paddle for that one. And as part of the movie, I was up in the Great Bear Rainforest back in August, and I've traveled quite a bit in BC.
So, Carrie, you've had a chance to go along on some of these adventures.
Yeah, I met Bob when I produced the Canadian Surfer movie a couple years ago, and I thought of doing another project with Bob, and we've been filming for the last year.
What inspired you to do the actual Paddler movie, though, to actually highlight what he does?
You know, honestly, I just woke up and thought of it, and then I just emailed him, or I can't even remember, Facebook or something. I was in Mexico, and I woke up, I thought about it, said, "Okay, I got to do it." Yeah.
I knew he was serious when he called me at 5 in the morning to talk to me about this project. So
5 in the morning phone calls for sure.
Oh, you were just getting up to go paddling anyway, right?
Pretty much.
So the movie, though, so far.
We did a Kickstarter campaign, and it was successful, and that finished just about 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. So we've been editing for the last 2 months, and wrapping up actually in the next couple weeks. We're doing all the voiceovers and stuff actually tomorrow. So
where do you guys do all that stuff?
We're actually the Film Factory and Music City Studios.
It's pretty cool how much Kelowna's kind of changing. Like, you know, we have had what's the movie, Go With Me, with some big movie stars here, and we actually have some really good production crew here.
It's awesome. I brought a nice crew with us to Tofino, and Bob's seen us, and good stuff and bad stuff.
What kind of bad stuff? Let's go there.
We don't have to talk about that.
But
looking at some of the footage, like some of that stuff in Tofino, I've never really seen the stand-up paddleboarding in big waves like that. Is that a common thing, or?
Isn't it called surfing?
It's kind of surfing at that point.
Yeah, that's the roots of the sport. It's an interesting sport. It was rebirthed 15 or 16 or 17 years ago now by Laird Hamilton. But it has ancient roots. If you go back in history in Egypt and Africa and places like that, there's been stand-up paddlers around forever. But its roots are generally recognized as being from Hawaii, which means surf. And the really cool thing about the sport is you can surf it, you can flat water paddle, you can go down a river. I've paddled down rivers up to grade 3 whitewater. You can race. There's all these different things you can do with a stand-up paddleboard. It's really cool.
So with what you're actually doing with your paddling infinity days, like when are you going to end, and what's the whole purpose?
Well, my goal is 1,000 days, and I hit that last September. And the whole...
He could have stopped then.
Yeah, no, not that bright.
1 million days.
It was interesting. And the reason I started the whole deal, I made a commitment to myself many years ago to send a healthy and vibrant planet into the future. And we have some work to do in that department. And this is one of the ways, Paddle for the Planet, that I thought, maybe we can have a global impact. And it's all about changing the way we live on the planet. That's the message, and very simply, it's just changing the way we live on the planet.
When are you launching it, and where are you planning on getting the movie out to?
Well, we're launching it at the end of January. We're going to have our first premiere for it in Kelowna at the Kelowna Community Theatre. And then after that, it's already been approached from a few different companies for distribution. Because my last movie, The Canadian Surfer, received worldwide distribution, so kind of dealing with the same companies I'm already working with. But we really just want to get out what we shot and what the people said and what we filmed. And I mean, we filmed some amazing footage, a lot of aerial footage, a lot of great interviews. We got to interview Roy Henry Vickers, famous Canadian artist, John Ford from the Tofino Whale Center, and a few others. We actually had Bruce Cook, who was recently paralyzed. He's a friend of mine, and we were filming with him, and we got him up wake surfing behind the boat just a couple months ago. It was just an amazing thing to see, and it's all in the film, so it's pretty cool.
You mentioned the aerial footage. What's that like with the little thing buzzing around you while you're out there? You notice it?
It's pretty cool. When we filmed in Tofino, the day we did Catherine's interview in particular, it was blowing like crazy. And to watch that thing being piloted and how close he can get, and without actually hitting you, the skill level is just incredible. They're a pretty cool machine, and the footage, the footage you get from those perspectives is just incredible.
It's like one of those drones, like they're about they're this big, and they just fly them right in there.
I actually crashed one a few weeks ago.
You're going to hit that on camera?
Yeah, I'm going to show it at the very end of the film, actually. I crashed it, and there goes, thousands of dollars right there.
New fundraiser.
New Kickstarter for the drone.
If you want to support the drone.
Yeah, we need a new drone.
So purpose-wise, again, and you want to change the way people live on the planet, but it's not telling people to go and paddle every day for the rest of your life. Like, what kinds of changes do you hope people make from watching this movie?
That's a pretty broad statement, changing the way we live on the planet. I encourage people to follow their discontent, if you will, because that's where your passion lies. Find something that you're very passionate about, and then get out there and support it in some way, shape, or form. Volunteer, donate, become active. Become an activist.
Use paper, not plastic. Right?
Use paper, not plastic, yes, or glass.
Reusable, and those coffee machines or those little things, just that alone, if you can get those reusable ones, or when you go to Starbucks or coffee, bring your mug, little things help too.
I do a lot of public speaking, and that's probably the #1 subject that I talk about is single-use products and their effect on the planet, which is not good.
Well, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks you guys. Can't really reach you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, pound it. All right, so for people that want to see your guys' stuff, your movie, and you have a website.
Yeah, we'll be doing lots of marketing on news and whatnot.
You just have a Facebook page, a website.
The Paddler Movie on Facebook, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, you guys.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations on the new show.
Thank you.
Yes.
First guest.
Woo! Awesome.
What? Local filmmakers, support your local filmmakers.
Here's the goose head.
To help someone is to do something for someone that they're not able to do themselves. And enabling is doing something for someone that they could and should be doing themselves.
We're now joined with Tim and Sandy Varga. They're the authors of Loving Him to a Fault.
Maybe tell us a little bit about Corey's story.
How it started.
Well, it really came out of nowhere. He finished his high school, and he was big into hockey. He was always a good athlete. And then his hockey days ended, and he played a little bit of junior hockey. He was always a star player and went from that to being a fourth-line player, and he didn't like that and quit the team and came back home. And then really over the next couple of years, it just started to unravel that he just wasn't happy, didn't know where his life was going to go. And we always had drinks around the house just like any normal family would. And
yeah, he just basically lost his way in life. He just didn't know where to go, what to do. And for the first year, we just thought it was a phase. No, he's young, he'll grow out of it. It wasn't the Corey that we knew, and we just kind of didn't know really what to do, so we just kept enabling. It didn't work. It doesn't work to enable, unfortunately. You think it does at the time, just because you think you're helping, but you're not.
That's obviously the thing as a parent that you're going to do first, right, is try and help and do whatever you can, obviously, right?
Of course. You know, I carried him for 9 months. I thought, I'm a mom, I'm responsible for him. I'm here to protect him from everything. And so to just let him go was unheard of. Like, I'm not going to let him go. He's my son, for heaven's sakes. But then you do learn, unfortunately, the hard way that you do have to let them go and let them find their own way in life, because he is an adult. And you just hope for the best, is all.
What was the worst thing that you guys did to enable him?
Well, we got into situations where he no longer could live in our house. Like I say, police would be there. You know, our neighbors probably saw the police 5, 6, 7 times, and eventually moved him out. And Sandy said to me one time, "I'm never going to have my son live on the streets," and so we put him in a hotel room. All we did by putting him in the hotel room was give him a safe place to drink and mess himself up, and then phone us the last day swearing at us because we weren't going to let him stay in the hotel anymore. That's the enabling that you just can't do.
I mean, he has been on the streets on 2 occasions. He's had to go to food banks, and we never even imagined that would happen to our son. It was just unimaginable.
Coming through all of that, what was it that made you know that you had to put that down in a book and share it with people?
Well, really, I decided one day walking the dog, as a matter of fact, I'd thought about it a few times because I thought, what happened? We're just a normal family. Why did this happen to us? And then after his 5th or 6th time in jail, he had spent 6 months there, and we thought, he's got to have gotten it by now. And within 2 days of him being out and trying to live on his own again, he was back to doing the same old thing. Then I decided it's time. And the title itself, Loving Him to a Fault, I read something one time that said that to help someone is to do something for someone that they're not able to do themselves, and enabling is doing something for someone that they could and should be doing themselves. Sandy came by my work one time after driving away from him outside some recovery house, and came to my work crying, saying, "Tim, he's not going to make it." And all I could say to myself was that, you know, we've said that before, and he's surviving through it all. So, but that's the toughest decision as a parent, and we are a loving family. We always have been.
Trying to let go.
Letting go is the hardest thing to do, but it's the only thing to do. As an addict, because that's the most important thing to them, we wanted him to get better more than he did, is that they will manipulate you and use you as a family person and have you enable them until you just can't anymore.
Right, and it's not just alcohol we're talking about, it's prescription drugs as well. Let's go into that a little bit, because Tim, you mentioned on the phone with me how with prescription drugs, how easy it is for people to get prescriptions and the damage it's doing to your son.
I think the best way to talk about that is a story that Corey actually told me. He had been taking them for 1.5 years or so.
What?
And Ativan, lorazepam, sleeping pills, and antidepressants, not painkillers. And someone said something to me one day, a friend said, "Tim, he's not sick." And in other words, like, she had a son who she lost to prescription medicine, who had been in a bad motorcycle accident, was taking painkillers, became addicted to them, and eventually killed him. Well, in our case, our son really, there was no need to prescribe him all these pills. Different pills. Last summer, I pulled out pills that I'd taken from when Corey got kicked out of a place this past summer, and I found 8 pill bottles, 6 different prescriptions, all within a 40-day period. There is a thing called Pharmanet that all doctors and all pharmacies can look at when prescribing, and it's ridiculous how they just keep giving him. And she said to me that he doesn't have a chance. This friend said to me, he just doesn't have a chance to kick his habit. And she put it best, she said, we go from learning we can't enable to now the system of prescribing and the doctors giving him the prescription is the worst thing. They're enabling him now to continue on his addiction. Mm-hmm. How are you supposed to win that when they're just for freely, because he is on the pharmacare system, freely getting these pills? It doesn't even cost him any money. There's no red flag in the system. And the worst thing is there's absolutely no accountability or penalty for these doctors or pharmacists. And they're killing people by doing it, unfortunately.
So you've written the book. Obviously, you hope this is going to help other families in a similar situation. What do you want to come out of publishing this book?
Just to let people know they're not alone, and it's okay to talk about it. Don't be embarrassed, because we're not embarrassed at all. I mean, we just want to help people. We've had a few book signings, and I see these women walk in, they haven't even read our book yet, and just the looks on their faces. And so I just want to sit and talk to them and help, just say you're not alone, and you will get through it. It may never end, but you got to think of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself.
And the doctors and the pharmacies, what would you guys like to see happen with the regulations?
A red flag go up, just something.
Because people are going from pharmacy to pharmacy, just, if one pharmacy doesn't give it, then the next will.
Yeah, if I'm walking one walk-in clinic to the other, to one pharmacy to the other, and it's constant. I mean, we've seen the dates on the bottles.
In a case like our son's, maybe having them to only be able to go to one doctor who knows the prescriptions he's getting, because the big fault in the system is walk in to walk in to walk in to walk in. The story he told me one time was that he went into one doctor, he got a prescription given to him, went into a pharmacy, the lady behind the counter looked at her boss and said, this is 3 weeks early, can we fill this? The head pharmacist said, nope, ripped it up. He went back to the same doctor. Then and only then did that doctor look up on PharmaNet and goes, prints up and says, if I give you this prescription, I could lose my license to practice medicine. I can't. So he leaves there without a prescription. He says, so then I go to another doctor. He gives me the prescription. I went to another pharmacy and went, I got that. Wow. That's how bad the system is, that allowing that to happen. It's bad.
So for people that want to see more of the book, and you guys have, I know, a Facebook page, how can they get to that?
Type in Loving Him to a Fault in Facebook, and it'll pull up. If you click like, you can share our story as it's really just starting to get out there.
Thank you so much for coming in and sharing this with us, an important story that has to get out there. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Thank you. So thank you guys to everybody for helping make this happen. It's our first show.
Part of the idea of this is to encourage people to come down here and be a part of telling the community story. So
and including everybody. So just making the Okanagan something where people, in Russia could be like, look what's happening in Okanagan, right? So we're going to be on Shaw and on YouTube, so make sure to like us. Facebook.
Stay tuned. Maybe we'll have a giveaway. You can win one of these absolutely one marvelous hand-decorated
I'd like to say
mugs.
my son did it because he's like 11 months old, but I can't even lie. So.
I got schmutz on my fingers.
I know. We'll do like war paint for our first thing.
Yeah, maybe not.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and thank you, Doug.
Well, thank you. Good job.
I like your necklace.
Let's do it again.
Next week?
Yeah,
same
sure.
time, same place?
All right, sounds good to me.
All right, thanks for watching. See, that was unison.
That was cool.
I know.
It's like we're twins.
We're kindred spirits. Kindred spirits.
Is that a song?
Yeah, it is. It's Anna Green Gables. Oh. Yeah, well, now you know. So. Highly impressive. Necklace man.
I said you had to be flexible to be on TV.
Yeah, that's going to be cut out.
Flexible.
Yeah.
Can you put your leg up? No.
I can. What?
Cut.
Okay, cut. Okay, now let's go over to the dumpster. Now getting out. Watch this. You want to see my agility?
I do. Holy smokes.
Like, what could you possibly have going on?
Well, I do host Go Okanagan on Shaw.
What's that?
Look, what are you doing over there?
Oh God, that's really cool.
I thought the cold never bothered you.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
Oh, I get lonely, not get cold.
We're not fooling anybody. It's Glenn Coity performing behind us here. One of the many acts that comes down here to the studio. But we need more.
Yes, if you would like to be a part of this action here, so that it's not Doug and I singing here by ourselves on Monday nights.
Come on, give us a shout right here. And yeah, come and join the fun.
And that could be you.
Sing along.
Well.
What?